Hi, I'm Don Spiro, coordinator of the Green Fairy Society's series of absinthe tastings, and I'm here to talk to you about absinthe. Now, I know there's a lot of misconceptions about absinthe. Some people think that wormwood, one of the herbs that's used in the making of absinthe, is a hallucinogen. It's not. Some people think absinthe is illegal. It isn't. So, why the misconceptions? Well, absinthe was one of the most popular beverages in Europe at the end of the 19th century. In fact, due to an epidemic in the vineyards, absinthe became even more popular than wine, and the wine industry was not too happy about that. So they started a marketing campaign against absinthe, telling people that it was bad for them, and they got absinthe banned for more than 80 years. Now, in this century, chemists have proven that there never was anything wrong with absinthe. In fact, a chemical in wormwood and sage, thujone, which people thought to be hallucinogenic, is not. Not that it matters, because absinthe has so little of it that the FDA considers absinthe to be thujone free. Now, you know what absinthe isn't, so what is absinthe? Well, absinthe is a spirit, a liquor, just like whiskey or gin. In fact, it's made the same way distillers make gin. They take a variety of botanicals, different barks and roots and flowers, fruits, herbs, and other spices, and they soak them in a very high proof alcohol to extract all their flavors. Then they distill it and get a brand new spirit. You can have any variety of botanicals, but if the predominant flavor is juniper berries, then your spirit is gin. If the flavor is what we call the holy trinity of absinthe, which is green anise, sweet fennel, and grand wormwood, Artemisia absinthium, you have absinthe. Now, right off the still, a spirit has a lot of alcohol, and all the flavors are dissolved in the alcohol. That's why most distillers will dilute their spirits before bottling to about half water and half spirit. This isn't just to save money. This is also so that you taste the flavors that the distiller wants you to taste. Now, not so with absinthe. Absinthe goes into the bottle at a very high proof. That means that it has a very high alcohol content, between 50 and 75% alcohol by volume, or 100 to 150 proof. That means that it's interactive. You get to dilute it to your taste as much as you want. And I'm going to show you how right now. It's going to start with an absinthe glass. There's a marking on the glass to show you how much you should pour in the absinthe, although you can always use just a wine glass at home. Let's do that. Now, I like my absinthe unsweetened, but traditionally you do add sugar, so I'll show you that. Starts with an absinthe spoon. You can see the slots there. That sets on top of your glass of absinthe. You take a sugar cube, put it on top, and if you're at a party or a bar that happens to have an absinthe fountain, the fountain would be filled with ice cold water, and you would turn on the faucet and it would slowly drip and dissolve your sugar and dilute your absinthe. But if you're at home, you can do what I do, is just have a carafe of ice cold water and do it that way. And I'll just slowly pour. Note that the color and the opacity are changing. This is from the anethals, chemicals in the anise that were dissolved in the alcohol are coming out, along with different flavors. There we are. Ratio goes about 1 to 3 to 1 to 5 absinthe to water, depending on your taste. And there we are. Now, you might notice something that I did not do, which was light the absinthe on fire. In the late 20th century, when absinthe was still banned through most of Europe, people would go to Prague and Czechoslovakia for a lower quality of absinthe, which was basically wormwood soaked in a very high proof vodka with artificial flavors and artificial colors, and people drank it neat, and it was awful. So bartenders started lighting it on fire as a spectacle to sell more drinks and move more product. Hey, it was the 90s, but the 1990s, not the 1890s. Nobody 100 years ago was lighting their absinthe on fire, and I recommend that you don't do it either, unless you want to ruin a perfectly good absinthe. And this is a perfectly good absinthe. Santé. And back to you, Patrick.